T238 reached out to see if I wanted to do a review of any of their newer products. I mentioned I had an interest in their smaller tracer units, which I prefer for indoor gameplay such as CQB environments and for use on SMGs, PDWs, or pistols. So they sent me one of their newer tracer units called the Storm Tracer. In the box we have the manual. The manual is pretty basic and explains the charging and how the functions operate. There's also a sticker pack, a very short USB charging cable, and finally we have the T238 Storm Tracer unit. This tracer has an aluminum frame with carbon fiber wrap on the body and aluminum M caps. The fabrication and quality look pretty good and feel very nice. Carbon fiber wrap comes in 8 different colors, including black, orange, red, golden, silver, purple, green, and blue. If any of you know me, then you'll know that I had to choose the blue tracer unit. This will also match nicely with my high kappa pistol, which you'll see later on. On the front face we have 3 LED lights. These are used for the muzzle flare effect. We also have a single push button that operates as the on-off button and that cycles the 3 tracer modes. Finally, we have a soft silicone cover protecting the USB-C charging port. You should periodically check on this cover to make sure it's still in place, because if it falls out during gameplay or during usage, you'll likely do some damage to the USB-C charging port that's on the front of the tracer if it gets hit by a BB. This T238 Storm Tracer unit measures an approximate diameter of 32mm and a length of 64mm. One thing I'll be interested to see during gameplay and testing is how durable the covers on those 3 LED lights are. For some other tracer units with the flare, I found that it can crack the lenses depending on how it gets hit. The T238 Storm Tracer unit weighs in at about 73 grams. I have a couple other tracer units here that I'm going to use just to compare for size and weight to other compact platforms. I have the X-Cortec XT301. This is the MK1 version, but MK2 is quite similar. This tracer is quite a bit lighter at only 40 grams. I also have the E-Shooter Flare MBT, which is their most advanced option, weighing in at also 40 grams. As you can tell, the T238 Storm is not the lightest option on the market, but it has its size in place, and the unit is quite comparable and still a great size as a compact tracer unit for both rifles and pistols. Checking in on the dimensions for comparison, the E-Shooter Flare MBT is about 28mm in diameter, and the X-Cortec is about 29mm. The T238 Storm is slightly bigger at 32mm in diameter, but very comparable. The length of the X-Cortec is about 64mm, and the E-Shooter Flare MBT is about 54mm, being the smallest of the lot. The T238 length was 64, which is very compact and comparable to the other tracer units, and it's still much shorter than a standard 152mm or 6-inch style tracer unit. I do want to note that this comparison is only to give an idea of size for available compact tracer units on the market. Going back to the Storm Tracer, to turn it on, just press the function button on the front face once. This activates the tracer in the default mode, which is the flare plus tracer mode. This mode will give you a yellowish muzzle flash simulation, along with the ultraviolet light inside the tracer to activate the glow-in-the-dark BBs. If you press the function again, it'll switch to tracer only mode and you'll see the inside UV light flash. If you press it one more time, the outside 3 lights will flash and it'll activate muzzle flash only mode. Finally, one more press and your tracer unit will turn off, which is signified by the 3 outside lights going bright and then fading to 0. Although the T238 Storm has slightly more girth than the other compact tracer units, it's still quite functional and can fit into tight spaces like the inside of your handguard on a rifle. Due to the reverse threading, as you tighten the tracer unit down on the outer barrel of your rifle, you may notice the body of the tracer unit starts to unscrew and come loose if you try to tighten it down too much. If you'd like to tighten the tracer down effectively, your best bet's to get something like a soft plastic pen or plastic tool and try to turn the last thread of the tracer unit nut using the tool. T238 put their function buttons and charge port on the front end, so this actually helps mitigate issues for compact rifle platforms, and you can charge and turn on, off, or cycle the features while the tracer unit is still on your rifle. The T238 Storm Tracer unit is also a great option for pistols. I have here my upgraded Tokyo-Marui high kappa with a threaded inner barrel. The only thing you'll need here is an extra 14mm counterclockwise to 11mm clockwise adapter so you can thread your T238 Storm onto your pistol. Just note that the tracer unit doesn't come with this adapter. The T238 Storm comes with 14mm counterclockwise thread only, so it will mount onto most rifles, but for pistols, like I said, you need to get that adapter. To tighten the adapter on both ends of the tracer, you can use soft grip pliers, or if your adapter has a hole like mine, use any small round Allen key style tool to help out. Once you have the tracer unit on the pistol or gas blowback rifle, you want to make sure that there's some clearance from the slide to the end of your tracer so your slide doesn't smack the tracer every shot. Now, it's time to enjoy some test firing in the various modes.